What is a restrictive covenant and how will it impact you, particularly if you're developing a property? My guest today is Richard Glover. Richard is a partner within JMW's property litigation team. So Richard, what is a restrictive covenant?
So a restrictive covenant is a restriction which is placed on the title of a property, which inhibits the use of that property in a particular way. So in the context of a residential development, it might look to limit the size of a building or number of buildings or the appearance of the building which can be built on a particular plot.
And do you have any examples of a restrictive covenant?
Yeah, we deal with loads of these. A couple of recent examples is one where we acted for someone who's developing a high value property, and the neighbour held a restrictive covenant over that property which restricted the appearance of it. So basically the restriction meant that our client had to have all plans approved by that neighbour. The client didn't realise the extent of this restriction, and to be fair, the neighbour as well thought that his power under the restriction was greater than it actually was. So we had to go through a process of educating both our client and the neighbour as to what exactly the restrictive covenant could restrict and what our client could do subject to the restrictive covenant. Peace eventually broke out and the development was completed, but it did take that period of education of both parties. Another recent one as well we've had is where there was a restrictive covenant placed on our client's holiday home in Wales, which had quite nice sea views. The restrictive covenant was for the benefit of the other properties on the development, where it sought to protect their views and amenity as well. So we had to go through a process of amending our plans, but also negotiation with the holders of the restrictive covenant for our client to develop its property in a way in which that he was happy with.
And how can you help others who are in a similar situation?
So it's really important for people to know about restrictive covenants right at the outset. So if you're either looking to purchase a property which is subject to a restrictive covenant, or to develop a property which is subject to a restrictive covenant, you need to know what limits that covenant places on your ability to develop. So we can obviously advise on that. Also, we tend to get involved once the client has discovered there is a restrictive covenant, but they are sort of quite far down the line with either purchasing the property or with the development itself. And in those circumstances, we will need to try and assist in getting the holder of the restrictive covenant to allow what our client wants to do. Or equally, if we're acting for the owner of the holder of a restrictive covenant, then we can assist in ensuring that any development on neighbouring land is done in accordance with that covenant.